Friends, Namaskar. Dr. Usha Ram, back with you to discuss with you on a very different issue altogether. As we all know, there is a paradigm shift. Pedagogies have changed. There is digital literacy, which has become a must. We all know that. I had one point in mind that in case the way things are post COVID-19, what will be the situation? How are we ready? There is this word going around that we might allow children of senior classes, that is 9, 10th, 11, 12th, they can come in break time, they can come in short intervals, and they can come and talk to teachers and discuss with them. It just struck me that it's very important. What are the issues that we have post-COVID when the children are coming to us? Back to school program, I have 5 critical dimensions of school reopening and recovering after pandemic. What are they? The first one, making school environment safe. That is, infrastructural changes are required. To begin with, 50% students will come and 50% will study from home. So it's a kind of blended learning. One group will go, another group will come. There can be a break time, there can be morning and afternoon sessions so that the social distancing can be maintained. We can have less children at a time so that there is less of gathering and social contacts. Now in this, rescheduling the timetable, timings have to be looked into. Scholastic and co-scholastic activities have to be designed in such a manner. In case of NCERT, they have already worked out the alternative academic calendar also, which also can be looked into and the details can be worked out. They have looked into the learning enhancement program also. CBSE also has prepared manuals in which a lot of details are given. So one, it is that making school environment safe, infrastructural changes, and then blended learning I just told you, and then including even morning assembly or prayer time. Even in the class itself, there has to be that the furniture should be such that there is a distance between each child. So even that has to be looked into. So that's the first point, that is making school environment safe. In this, special precautionary measures, that is daily sanitization of the library, classroom, buses, play area, toilets, washrooms, probably even canteen if there is any place, hand sanitization, and even that can be done at the entrance. I've seen in some of the schools at the entrance itself they have hand sanitizers for the children to sanitize their hands and then come inside. And then wearing a mask is a must. That cannot be negotiated. And then social distancing in any case has to be kept in mind. Then along with this, schools should follow the precautionary measures which are listed by UNESCO, UNICEF and WHO. They've given very valid, good points, 30-40 points that we can keep in mind when, as principals, as teachers, when we are in the school. The second point, that is the second critical dimension, is targeting resources to where they are most needed. That is, the schools do not have too much of money, and so it is important that you spend your time, your management, your money on areas, infrastructural changes if they are required, or make school a safe place, more rooms, and even the ACs have to be removed, and you can have the open learning system so that there's a fresh air coming into the classes. So probably some kind of structural changes, if they are required, they have to be looked into. The third point, recovering learning loss and building back better. That is, the children who could not study through the virtual classrooms or even online classes, they could not get the connections on time, and they had a lot of difficulties. For them, special sessions, especially for economically weaker section children who missed out, children with special needs who could not get much attention otherwise, and then the gifted children, they need some special time, extra time, and then the remediation. So all these programs have to be woven into the program in such a manner that, keeping the social distance, they have to be given the committed time, the commitments that the teachers have for the children for their learning, because they need time with the teachers to learn and understand and go ahead. Another point is there, that is, for their, one is academic issues, there are social, emotional, health issues, and then nutrition, what to eat, what not to eat, and then on cyber hygiene, then wellness programs. The counselors have to be prepared. You can even get experts from outside, but the school counselors are there. If not, then experts have to be called to have word with the children on all these issues, because emotional stability is very important. Children might not like to come to school, they might not be very happy interacting because they have been cocooned in their homes. So it takes time sometimes, for the children to recover and come back. And then some academic losses they had, so they really do not know how to cover up, and they need some kind of special assistance from the teachers with love and affection, that you can do it. So this is another. And then cyber hygiene, cyber security, wellness programs, all these are going to be very, very important, and that has to be looked into by the schools, by the teachers, by the principals. Now the fourth point, getting children back to school happily. This is very important, because some children, certainly they are waiting, they want to come back. There'll be some children who are very cool, getting up late, having only 1.5 2 hours class. So for them to bring them back to the forum, for that co-curricular activities have to be prepared in such a manner that they enjoy coming. There has to be more of activity-based activities also, in such a manner that there is social distancing. You cannot, the visuals can be shown to them. And then for the government school children, feeding, the food is very important, and if not, the packed food can be given, so that the hygiene is maintained, and that I think they will be keeping in mind. And then even if at all, suppose we have to, first of all, the canteens, no need to open the canteen, but if at all, there has to be the packed food, so that there is no, it's prepared hygienically, because sometimes children come to school, they do not have anything, so they need some kind of, food facility in the school. And then, we can have, to make it more enjoyable, more visuals, I said, more MCQs, multiple questions, finding ways of testing their other abilities. For example, music, dance, art, craft, if they have that, allow them to present their programs, so that their inner feelings come out. They feel good about it, that they have been recognized. This is what they have been missing. I've talked about, spotlight syndrome. Now they will get an opportunity to present themselves, probably individually also, but then that gives them a vent out of their feelings that they had kept inside. They're wanting to come out and be with everybody. So this is another point, getting children back to school but happily, and how to keep social distancing, mask wearing, and hand sanitize it, but still let it be a normal, natural teaching processes. Then the fifth point of this critical, I talked about the critical dimensions. The fifth is engaging communities. That is, one is the parents, the parent community, another is the local community. The school is in a locality where we can have the local people on our panel, so that they can give support. If the cars are kept, if the buses are kept, if the children, the place is kept hygienically neat and clean, because the children are going to come to the school, they're coming in a line, so there's neatness around. And then parents certainly, because to really win the parents is very important, to win them is very important. They have to be made to understand that they have to be ready. They have to trust, they have to have faith, and they have to have positive feeling, and they should be a party to it. They should participate. They should understand that my child is coming to a school which is waiting for them, a welcome note. So till the time we do not have parent and the teacher and the school positive attitude, the things cannot be all right. So parents' involvement. Sometimes parents might say that we would like to also come and help with the school. Why not? In whether it is in sanitation or in cleanliness or in observations, the look into the other areas, how to decide the timings and how to see that all the children get an opportunity. Timings have to be changed, morning, afternoon shift. So all that can be worked out if we involve the parents also. They will feel good that they are a party to it. So that trust, faith will come only if we involve them, and then of course the community around, the colony where we are, so that there is no disturbance and there is a healthy atmosphere there. Now, because of the post-COVID preparations, over and above, we must understand that due importance has to be given to self-learning. That is the best method. Of course, the teachers are there, but self-learning, that feeling, that attitude has to be developed in our children. Self-learning. And then core competencies and learning outcomes to be understood. Once the teacher is clear about, because the NCERT has prepared that, that is from pre-nursery to class second, that is 5, pre-nursery, nursery, KG 1 and 2. They have already worked out, core competencies and the learning outcomes, and then for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then 6th, 7th, 8th, and then 9th, 10th. So all the core competencies are there, the learning outcomes are there. It's as teachers, we should understand and we should start making use of the modules and the facilities which are provided by the NCERT and by the CBSE in form of writing or in form of visuals or in form of videos. Then it's very important, that is, because of the digital literacy, it's a must for all of us as teachers to upgrade ourselves. We have to unlearn and then relearn. Every child is unique, so we have to have a different method of teaching, and that process is possible if I know how to look after my own subject. If I'm perfect in my subject, any kind of question, anything is asked, I'm ready. And that also digitally. And even otherwise in the classroom situation, that is when they come to the classroom. So we had to prepare ourselves in the classroom also, in the virtual classroom also. So of course, teachers have, very, very important role. But that's why we say that the teachers are the warriors. On one side, if the doctors are the warriors for the patients, our teachers are the warriors who have really taken up in their hand and not let down anybody. They were not aware of it. Suddenly paradigm shift took place, but still they have prepared themselves. They started guiding children. They have worked out lovely programs. And on the Teachers' Day, it was wonderful to see teachers giving, some kind of programs to the children, and the children presenting some kind of programs for the teachers. It was a wonderful experience. So teachers are actually warriors. Now another point, our state education, our education minister, she has said that any program that we are working out in education, teachers are the oxygen. So teachers are the oxygen. Without teachers, parents, please understand, without teachers, nothing can be done. So they are the ones who need to be taken care. They are the ones who really need proper support from everybody. That is possible if the parents have faith in the teachers, in the school, in everybody. So I have explained that how post-COVID, the situation in the school, how we have to handle, and how we all have to have a positive attitude towards things, and I'm sure we all will win and hum honge kamyab We know that we will come out triumphant. We have to live with COVID-19. We cannot get away from it. We do not know how much time it will take, but it cannot deter us from learning, from improving, being a good human being. Thank you. Thank you so much.